Welcome to Cubing Corner, your place to learn, practice, and improve at solving Rubik's Cubes and puzzle variations. For this video, we need to learn the basic moves that we can do for a 3x3 Rubik's Cube that will be used later on for some algorithms in the next few discussions. Before we continue, please do subscribe and join us in our journey as we learn, improve, and grow together in the world of cubing. So this time, we have here the same 3x3 Rubik's Cube, and we are going to learn its basic moves. Hopefully, you're able to understand in the previous video the basic parts of this 3x3 Rubik's Cube, which involves faces, centers, edges, corners, and the layers. Most importantly, the layers, because we need to learn here the basic moves that we can do for this 3x3 Rubik's Cube. So the first thing you need to do here is to pick a certain face that you would like to place in front of you. So basically, the common item here that we can use is this white face fronting us. So if you're going to hold your Rubik's Cube like this, you can have these basic moves. We have 6 first moves, their equivalent reversions, and other variations. The first move that you can do is actually indicated by this letter F. F stands for moving the front layer in front of you. Of course, we know this is the front face, and by layer, this is the front layer. If you have F as part of your movement, the basic move that we can do for F is moving our front layer clockwise 90 degrees. So from this one here, we can move this clockwise, okay, that's clockwise 90 degrees, meaning until it meets again the following portions. That was actually F. Let's do it again. F stands for this movement, clockwise direction of your front layer, or of course the front face, but we are talking about layer this time. That's for our F. Again, F stands for this movement clockwise. The next basic move that we can learn is actually represented by this letter, R. R stands for the right layer movement, meaning this layer here entirely. And if we can actually have R in our algorithm later on, we are going to move this right layer up. Okay, so R stands for this one here, moving the right layer up. If you're not convinced with that, it actually has the same idea, because if we're going to look at your right face, okay, this is your right face. By moving that up, your right face is actually moving clockwise as well. Okay, 90 degrees. So R stands for right layer moving up 90 degrees until it reaches the following perspective. Again, R stands for the clockwise movement of your right face, or your right layer, which is moving upwards. Just like this one here. That's your R. The next basic move that you could do here is for our left layer here, which would be represented by this letter L. If our right layer for R stands for this movement, our L for our left layer would correspond to this movement going down. Okay? If R goes up, our L goes down 90 degrees. Again, if you're not convinced with that, look at your left layer, which is red at this time. By moving it down, looking at your left face, you are actually also moving it clockwise. So all of them are in clockwise direction, moving down, or our right face moving clockwise direction. That's for our first 3 movements. The next 3 would be for our top layer. But we are not going to use T for our top layer. We're going to use U. U stands for our upper layer, the top layer moving to your left. Okay? So U stands for this movement, 90 degrees as well. Again, this one 90 degrees. So similarly, if you're going to look at your top layer, by having U moving to this portion, your top layer is again moving clockwise. So all of them are actually in clockwise direction. So you again, that one, so you will have here your upper layer, or your upper face rather, or top face, moving clockwise as well. Okay? Next is for our bottom layer. Our bottom layer is not indicated by B because we also have the back layer which stands for B. Our bottom layer is represented by letter D, the down. Okay? This was up, the top layer, so bottom would be D. And D would mean moving this bottom layer to the right. Because upper layer moves towards the left, here towards the right. Or again, basically, looking at the bottom portion, it's still moving clockwise. Right? So it is moving clockwise here. Right? And finally, for our back layer, which is now represented by B, we are going to move our back layer towards this portion. Okay? Or going like that. Because again, for the back layer, which is the yellow in this case, moving clockwise as well. So just like that, it moves like that one. But basically, not all of the algorithms will be using back. Okay? So you can actually leave that at the time. So you're going to have your F clockwise, right, be up, left is going down. For your up would be going to left, your down would be going to your right, and of course your back would be in this portion here. Those are the basic moves that you can do for our 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Now let's proceed to their reversions. Okay? So of course, there are also some algorithms that will be using the reverse movements. So in this case, if this was F earlier, 90 degrees here, okay, we can also move this front layer counterclockwise. And if we're going to have counterclockwise movements or reversions, we're going to use the apostrophe. So in this case, if this was F, 90 degrees here, the movement for this on counterclockwise direction would be F prime. F prime means our front layer moving counterclockwise. Again, F prime is this because F was clockwise direction. Okay? Still 90 degrees. So for your R prime, supposedly your R moves 90 degrees like the direction, or again, using your right face, it is clockwise. Your R prime would mean this right layer going down, which looks like in your right face is counterclockwise in direction. Still 90 degrees. Again, R prime is this because your R is this. For your L, we know that for our L is when we move this down, again, looking at our left face, clockwise direction, 90 degrees. For your L prime, this is where your left layer goes up. Again, L prime goes up, just like that, 90 degrees. Okay, so for our upper layer, since this is U, U prime goes the opposite direction. Looking at the top layer, you're actually moving counterclockwise as well. Similarly, if you're going to have D prime, which your D supposedly in this direction here, your D prime is its reverse operation, this one here. Again, looking at your bottom, counterclockwise direction. And finally, just to complete the 6 movements, for your B, which means earlier moving to this direction, your B prime goes the other way, just like that. Okay? So we have that for our reversions. Now, let's have another version of our movement. We know that our F stands for the 90-degree movement in clockwise direction. However, if you have to move it again in just one stroke, you are moving 180 degrees from this one, so 90, and another rotation to 180 degrees. That is indicated by F2. Meaning, if you see 2 later on in your notations, in your algorithms, F2 stands for 180 degrees direction. So similarly, if you have R2, R stands for this, but if you have R2, so you have 1, that's 90 degrees, and another 180 degrees. That is R2. This is also important for our L2, so your L2, this is your L. Your L2 is 180 degrees. Your up would be this one here, that's 90, but U2 would be this one here. And of course, it also works with the reversions. If you have R2 prime, R prime means going down, but since you have your 2, so you have 1 and then 2. That's your R2 prime. So those are just basic movements that you can learn for this 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Let us have some questions here, and I would like you to place your answers in the comment, as I would like to ask you with specific moves, or how do we write the notations for the specific moves. Are you ready? Let's start with this. What is this movement? Okay, again, let's do it again. The correct answer here is R. That's moving your right layer 90 degrees in a clockwise direction, R. How about this one here? Moving the top. The correct answer here is U, because we're moving our upper layer or top layer to the left, or again clockwise direction in 90 degrees. How about this one here? It's the front layer, but since it's counterclockwise, that's actually F prime. Again, moving here, F prime. How about this next one? Take note, I have 2 strokes for your left, and since it follows the certain movement clockwise, that is actually L2. That's correct. These are just basic movements that you can practice before going into the algorithms, and that will be on the next video. We are going to start fixing the first layer of a 3x3 Rubik's Cube following a cross movement first. So please stay tuned for the specific video, and we are here again reminding everyone that at Cubing Corner, we believe every solver starts somewhere, one turn at a time. See you in the next video.